Welcome to the Høvel review. Woohoo! In this video, we are going to be looking in depth at the Høvel pencil sharpening plane by Maker's Cabinet. And you've got other videos on my channel, a playlist I have created for you guys that you can go through at your leisure and see from the beginning what has made me so excited about this awesome tool. Okay guys, so firstly, this little gadget is the Høvel. It's a pencil sharpener and it's made by Maker's Cabinet, and there are three creators, or the three founders at Maker's Cabinet. They are the designers called Odin Adar, Benjamin Winger and Noah Beer, and they met while studying product design at Central St. Martin's, and they were dissatisfied with the disposable and wasteful nature of the stationery art supplies market. Basically, it is pretty wasteful. When you buy, for example, big biros, you know, once they're empty, you bin them, and it's not good for the planet. And so they wanted to create a range of original and exciting heirloom quality tools, and that's the purpose. You see, this is something you would hand down, and it's everlasting, and it elevates drawing and the writing experience, and has created an art form in itself, which I think is pretty awesome. So, the price that I paid for the Høvel, €. Now, I purchased mine from Jackson Art Supplies, and the shipping was free, because at that point, anything over 50 had free shipping. I think it could have slightly changed now, and so I thought that was a pretty good deal. Now, I had trouble getting hold of the bases this year in 2022. I bought the Høvel this year in 2022, and because of the supply demand, there's been difficulty getting supplies in. So for this end of year review, I wanted the bases for the Høvel, and I couldn't get hold of them. They are back in stock now, I think, at Jackson Art Supplies. But Høvel, well, Maker's Cabinet even, that make the Høvel, which this is, kindly agreed to send me a base. They asked me to choose which base, and I said, as you'll know from my last video about the Høvel, that I didn't mind whichever was sent. So they kindly sent me both, the cork and the walnut wood. I haven't still polished this because we're going to do that in a separate video. My review is going to be glowing about this because I can't stop using it. I was looking, the whole purpose of me buying this was for my conte pencils. I had been desperately looking for something that would not break the conte. I went through many pencil sharpeners, as you'll see on my channel. I bought many. Now this pencil is the Caran dash. This is missing, but it's something colour, super colour or something. It's a water soluble pencil, and this is red. Now, just to show you that the different wood makes a difference, so it's easier, much easier to sharpen this. And I was also going to show you that's even easier to sharpen are the Derwent graphite tint pencils. And the base makes such a difference. It really does. You're just, you know, not breaking anything with it, and it gives stability to the experience of sharpening the pencil. And you're making your pencil as unique as your art. You can make it as long or as angled, as pointed as you like. The Conte actually works on the Høvel. Obviously it's going to take a little longer, the experience using the Høvel. So, what pencils can it not sharpen? Well, to be honest with you, I haven't come across any pencil that it cannot sharpen. I've even sharpened the Derwent Graphite Tone, which are pure sticks, woodless, watercolor or water soluble graphite, basically, in a stick. And I have scraped those over it. You could also quite easily, though I don't use them, you know the Stabilo woody pencils, those real chunky. Well, what put me off to start with was no sharpener. You had to buy a whole set of them to have a plastic sharpener included. And plastic, it just, there was no ambience or experience to the whole thing. It just felt like a very overpriced children's product to me. And so if you have some of those pencils, the experience will be better sharpening them on the Høvel. And I probably every now and then would use them, but what put me off as well is that those pencils are not light fast. And being a professional artist, I do prefer obviously using light fast products, even if I'm not selling the product, the drawing afterwards. I just, you know, that's what artists do. They want their work to last for generations to come. So, that's that. And the blades of the Høvel are a very good price. They are under €5 for me. It's like €4.80 or something on Jackson Art Supplies. You get 10 blades for that price. The blades, as I have said previously, will depend, how long they last will depend on how much you are sharpening and exactly what you're sharpening. And I am on, I think, how many blades we've got? I think I've used 2. So, what was that? I wasn't sure if one was stuck together, but no. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I'm on blade number 3, and that is since, I think, when did I buy this? If you look back on my channel, you'll see, but I think I bought it in about July of 2022. So that's still not bad going, considering the Conte pencils that I've been using all that time. So then, are the bases worth it? Do you really need one? Well, they are sold separately, and I would absolutely say yes, because an artist is just that you need a base. I noticed such an improvement when using the base, because it's, if you're wanting to get rid of all the wood, then take it out of the base, turn it over, hold it like so, and plane it all the way down. Now, when I was doing this with the Conte, it was kind of almost going to damage the core, simply because the vibration of doing this was catching on the core, and the core is so fragile. So having a base has stopped that. So you turn over your Høvel, set it in the base, and just drag your pencil over, and by doing that you're actually holding the pencil flat, which is protecting the core, and you're dragging the wood at a flat angle over the blade, and it's so much more convenient. So is it practical to travel with the Høvel? Well, just look at the size of it for a start. Now, if you buy the base, which I highly recommend, any base, the wood base, the walnut one, comes in a bag, which I really like, which means you can remember, always turn your Høvel over so that the blade, which is here, is upside down when you're packing away. Put it into your base, put it into your bag, and the blade little packet fits as well, and you can just do the drawstring up, and this little thing will fit into any pencil case very easily. If you have a Peg & Isle Sendek artist pencil roll, it has a combined little pencil pouch. It will easily fit into that. I absolutely say yes. It's very easy to travel, and it's convenient. You can do any pencil, any time. It isn't going to break. It's big enough that you're not going to lose it. It's easy to polish and clean. The price is fair. It is far cheaper than a Caran mounted desk hand crank sharpener, which is being recommended. And I don't like hand crank sharpeners. They just, the amount of, when I do pencil work, and any pencil artist will say that, the pencils, they get blunt very quick. And so you want something that isn't going to give you blisters and arm ache having to use a hand crank sharpener all the time. So a lot, well, not a lot, but as I mentioned in my first video, I think, about the Høvel, there was an artist on YouTube who was sent all of the kit of Høvel from Maker's Cabinet, and she wasn't keen on the whole thing because of the time that it takes to sharpen the pencil. But again, it's a skill to learn, and it's part of your art makeup in a way. It's what makes you, is what I would say. You're making your art supply as unique as you are, instead of just uniform and standard. You're putting your individual personality onto your pencils or your water-soluble crayons. I've always wanted those water-soluble crayons to have a point at some point in my drawing, no pun intended. I've needed a point on them, and so with this you can now do that. The other benefit, if you empty your base, you'll see here you've got all of your shavings. If you tip all of that out, go and get a water-soluble crayon and shave it into the base, wet your paper, your watercolor paper, and tip the contents of the shavings out. It creates such a lovely effect. So that's another technique that you can do with that, and it's fun. You can buy directly from Maker's Cabinet. If you go to www.makerscabinet.com, you will see lots of other products available by them. They ship internationally, and they are in fact a United Kingdom company or enterprise, and some of the products are made in China, but they are designed in United Kingdom. And to be honest, I am amazed that the Høvel was made in China, because the quality is amazing. Would I recommend the Høvel to my art friends? Yes, yes, and yes, I would. Is it value for money? Absolutely. And just look at that, in such a short space of time. If we just turn it round and then do this. Now, what I did find, I couldn't give, when testing the bases, I couldn't actually give a preference to you guys in this video of which base I recommend, because they're both handy and useful. Now, Maker's Cabinet will say that the purpose of the cork base is to protect your desk. If you have a nice, business wooden desk in the office or something, the last thing you want are scratches or anything like that, or it's slipping off the edge, because wood can be a little, wood on wood is, slippy. And so that's when they came up with the cork. It's sustainable, and it's not, dusty or anything like that. Again, I've not cleaned it. The base is smooth, but when you put it there, it's, I do have a non-slip mat, but it isn't a slippy. This moves around on a non-slip mat, the wood, but this grips. And the Høvel sits in here very securely. So it really is dependent on your preference. Now, this cork base does not fit into this fabric bag, because it's a little bit more chunky, but also because it's cork, there's resistance with the cotton bag and the cork, and you don't want to break it. So that's why it comes in a cardboard little box, which you could also use if you want. But I prefer the cotton bag. So for the travelling and in my pencil case and everything, I use the wooden base and this bag. But when I'm recording a video and I want it out for a secure sharpening, I put it in the cork base, because then I hold it. And if I'm doing a particularly awkward conte pencil, then that's when I put it in the cork base so that I can hold it. So I will show you what I mean by that. Just put it in like so, push it down into the base, and then we will just finish off sharpening this, but it just gives a little bit more stability. And it's all about the process, taking your time, the experience of it. It's very ASMR, auditory, sensory feeling about it. It's relaxing. If you're feeling stressed, sharpen some pencils. It is really fun. I know that sounds geeky, but it really is relaxing. So, basically, that is my simple, honest opinion and review. It's not, my review isn't hugely long, hugely in-depth, because I have done many other videos before this one to break down my individual topics that I have done for you guys. So I highly recommend the Høvel. I hope that you have found my videos about the Høvel useful and informative, and that you might be inspired to get your own. You can get them from Jackson Art Supplies, and you can get them directly from Maker's Cabinet. Other than that, it is I haven't found any other place selling them, because they're an exclusive product. So the outlets are going to be very limited. So those are the two outlets that are official. And with that said, guys, I will say thanks for watching, and I'm going to see you really soon. Bye.